Yo, what up, everybody? Good morning, salutations, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're coming in at. Hey, and welcome back to another tryptophan-free episode of the Culture Marauders podcast, the show where we maraud on all culture and deliver the goods to you, the listener, or the viewers, aka the masses. So we appreciate you tuning back in and rocking with us on this beautiful Saturday morning. Last Saturday of the month of November. The year is flying by, and we are about to get into the holiday season, which just kicked off with Thanksgiving. Um, you know, hey, I'm sure y'all done ate all the turkey you probably want to eat for the next year or so, all the ham, all the stuffing. Pocket's probably a little bit light from the Black Friday shopping, but your boy Kels and the Culture Mars, we got you. We're gonna get you right this Saturday morning and keep rocking. So, your boy Kels, it's been a little bit since I seen y'all last time. We were on with Liz LeBron from the Pinellas Voter Outreach Committee. Me and Rena were chopping it up with her. But since then, there's been some things happening in the world. We got a new president-elect coming in. Congrats to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. They're going to be taking over. It is what it is. It's a long process, regardless of the results. We got new leadership coming in. So good things on the way. Hopefully, we don't get complacent. And the hard work, a lot of us have been putting in, and the folks out there marching, protesting, trying to, bring the truth out there. Hopefully that stuff doesn't go away just because we got new leadership in. So keep pushing, keep working, and let's go ahead and complete the mission. So Thanksgiving, right? So if you saw us on Wednesday night, me and Rena, we were on here talking about our top 10, Thanksgiving meals and sides and stuff like that. So we had a good time. Thanksgiving, I spent 9 hours prepping a meal that took 20 minutes to eat. so, like a lot of y'all out there, I did my first smoked turkey. So my wife got me she got me a one of those big green eggs for Father's Day, and I've been rocking on that thing. Like I'm borderline professional, fellow marauders. I'm getting there, right? So I had the turkey, right? She whipped up a nice little brine. We brined it, injected it, seasoned it, the whole shebang, threw it on the grill, threw the ham on after. Man, I mean, we had everything. It was a good meal. I gained 4 pounds in a day. And, got up and went for a run this morning. I shut it down yesterday just to kind of relax. Not too much Black Friday shopping. We weren't really trying to go out and venture out too much, out of respect for social distancing and everything, and just trying to be safe and be smart about it. But, overall, it was a good holiday. And, so here we are today, Saturday morning. As we said, and look, we got a great show for y'all this morning, this afternoon. And one of my favorite topics to maraud on, this is actually our first topic when we really kicked off the show last September. We marauded on hip hop. And then that time we were marauding on UK hip hop, where we had our boy Scotty on talking about UK from a hip hop perspective, or hip hop from a UK perspective. So, so today, hey, we got a good one, y'all. We got the title of this one's called How About Some Shadcore. We got our guest. I'm going to go by his government name first, Rashad Harrell, a.k.a. Shadcore, a.k.a. Shadzilla. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the Culture Marauder Show. What up?
What's good, Kels? How you doing, bro?
Chilling, man. Living. So yeah, man. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good, man. It was my wife, she threw down, it was like really one of the first times she did like the whole shebang, you know what I'm saying? Because normally both of our mothers will do their thing and, we'll make our rounds. My wife might do a pie here, some chicken there, but she threw the whole thing together this time, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you though, man. I gained about 4.6 to be specific. 4.6 pounds.
You had it on the dot, 4.6.
Yeah, on the dot. Yeah. I was gonna say 4, but that 0.6 was kind of bothering me. So I was like, I might as well just be honest. 4.6.
How many plates did you go through? So I only went through one plate this year. I had one plate, but it was like a trough. Like I had food like hanging off the plate.
Yeah, right. Well, I did one initially, but you know how like a couple hours, 2-3 hours later, you go back. So we got a late start actually. We didn't, normally we'll eat a little earlier in the day. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I really got around to dinner, like the first plate to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. But about 6:30, I was making another round in there. So yeah, man, it's You know, you only live once, bro.
There it is. Hey, we got a late start, just like how you had said. We didn't get started about 5:30, and
Wow.
I had this grand plan, right? I was gonna have the turkey done by 3.
Right.
Let it set. We'd be ready to go by 4. And then
Right.
like you said, go back here and there and just pick.
Mm-hmm.
I was so full. I was done, and then me and my wife, we were sitting out on the back, watching. We watched Bad News Bears, and then we watched the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary.
Wow, right.
And we sitting out there.
I love that, bro.
It was just nice, man. Just chilling.
Yeah, that's dope.
I was full. I was done. I was tapping out. So
yeah,
that's good, man. I'm glad to hear you and your fam. Y'all enjoyed the holiday, and it's something well needed for all of us, man. Just a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
To in and have that family time. So
absolutely. I think with the way 2020 is gone, it made Thanksgiving that much more special this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Most definitely. All right. Yeah. So with that being said, all right. So you already know what's coming next, but I'm gonna switch it up on you, right? So I like to do my little icebreakers. So with you being an MC, and so I gotta ask this question, man. So the icebreaker for this episode, right?
Okay.
Your top 5, dead or alive. Who you got?
Ooh. All right. So this is kind of all right, Kel. So this is kind of like a loaded question because people like, do you give your personal 5 favorite rappers?
Yes.
Do you give the 5 people that you think are lyrically? It's so many different things. So I'm gonna just run. This one I'm gonna run with. Okay. I'm gonna run with my personal 5 favorite MCs.
Let's go.
Of all time. And I think this is the order. Yeah, we're gonna go in order. Rakim. Okay. Rakim is the one that made me want to get deep with the lyrics. So Rakim is number 1.
All right.
Andre 3000 number 2.
Good.
Eminem number 3. Ice Cube number 4.
All right.
And Redman number 5. That's my 5. Yeah. So Rakim, 3 Stacks, Eminem, Ice Cube, Redman. That's my 5 favorite.
Okay, that's different because a lot of people, I'm a huge fan of Redman. I love Redman. Redman is one of my dudes. Rakim, 3 Stacks. I'm gonna give you mine. I'm gonna give you mine. Okay. So right, I'm gonna go Andre 3000. I think lyrically the greatest of all time. Lyrically.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Dre. I'm gonna go Mos Def.
Ooh, I love it.
Mighty Mos. I'm gonna go Q-Tip.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Black Thought.
Yes.
And Black Thought, Q-Tip, Mos Def, Dre, and I'll probably go Rakim.
Okay.
It's a toss-up between Rakim and Eminem because Eminem is a savage too, man. And it's
right.
Yeah. So
and part of my selection is okay. So those are my personal favorite, but I also look at impact. You know what I mean? And while I feel like Dre and M took it to a level beyond what Rakim did, I feel like I have to put him in ahead because he was the spark. He was the inspiration. Right. He created a style with the compound syllables and things like that that is still emulated to this day.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man, my top 5 might change next week, bro, because I love Black Thought, bro. It's like, how do you not put Black Thought in the top 5? How do you not put Nas or Jay-Z in the top 5? So
it's tough. It's tough. Like you said, it is a loaded question, and a lot of it is personal preference. So
personal preference.
And if I'm sitting in my car, I know for a fact I'm listening to some Outkast. I know for a fact it can happen.
Right.
And then it'll trickle down to Mos Def or Q-Tip because I'm a big Tribe fan. As you see, they got the shirt.
Yes. The name of the show.
Exactly. Right. So big Tribe fan, and then and then living in Philly, I lived up near Philly for like 3 years, so I like the roots already. But then to be in Philly and then have that feel of what Philly is. And see them perform like in Philly, man. I'm telling you,
bro. My band, we opened for the Roots 3 years ago at the Okeechobee Music Festival, bro. And to see Black Thought just get up there, he literally, it really felt like he was like a machine, bro. Like he was spitting like nonstop. It didn't seem like he took a breath.
Yes.
He didn't have to move. I haven't seen too many MCs that can move a crowd without them even having to move. He just stand stationary, holding the mic, and just like his words was just. See, I don't know. Now I got Black Thought in my top. Black Thought and Redman tied for number 5.
It's a power of persuasion, my friend. See, I Black Thought, man. He's so ill, and
bro.
I don't think he gets a lot of the appreciation. More so now, I think it's coming around. But they've been rocking for a minute.
He's been killing it, bro. It's like some people are just catching on. I think what really put him on people's radar that he wasn't on yet, because like me and you, we've been knowing, right? But that 10-minute freestyle he did, like the 15, I think 10 or 15-minute freestyle.
15 minutes, yeah.
15-minute freestyle. That woke a lot of people up, bro. It was like, whoa. And it was like no wasted bars in there either, bro. Like he was saying some crazy stuff. Yeah. Man. So
well,
definitely Black Thought, man. Yeah.
So there it is. So all right. So rundown, y'all. So y'all listening, tuning in. So Shadcore said Rakim, 3 stacks, M Cube, and a tie of Redman and Black Thought, which is high, it's respectable. There it is. So
yes.
Right. That's coming from our guest this week, y'all. Shadcore, family man, St. Pete resident, lifelong hip hop head and front man for the St. Pete Hip Hop Collective, The Real Clash. So welcome, brother. You are officially a marauder. So we're gonna get on into this interview. So
all right.
That being said, we know you from St. Pete, right? So other than that, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Man, I've been a fan of music my whole life, but specifically hip hop ever since Run DMC, bro. That's my favorite group of all time. Run DMC, man, back in the early 80s, bro. It was like you know how you lay down on the floor on your stomach with your hands, with your chin in your hands, and you know how you used to watch cartoons like that. That's how I would watch Run DMC videos, bro. Like just enamored, just in awe of what they could do, bro, and just their chemistry and their stage presence. I was blown away by it. I was infected by it, bro. That was like, I want to do that. And I was like 8 or 9 years old, bro. And I was like trying to write my first rhymes at that age, you know what I'm saying? Because I just was blown away by them. So I'm a big fan first of hip hop. Obviously, an MC myself, a songwriter. Like you say, a family man, been married to my beautiful wife, Tanya, for 22 years.
Oh, wow.
Got 3.
Man.
Thank you, bro. 3 amazing children. Oh, man. No, it is not, bro. It is not, bro. But it's worth it, bro. It's definitely worth it, man. She, I can't imagine where I would be without her being like the one that keeps me grounded, the one that will stand in the gap and pray for me and just really, without a doubt, they have your best interests at heart, bro. So that's a beautiful thing.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And they're the ones that save you from yourself sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly.
Definitely. All right. So you talked about, Run DMC, is that the moment, is that what made you fall in love with hip hop, or was it just like a collective of other acts? And
it was a collective. They were the ones that were at the top for me, but it was Run DMC, it was Rakim, it was LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, EPMD. I mean, when you look back on it now, I don't know if we realized it then, we were so young, but man, that was just a crazy class of just dope, unique, creative artists, man. It was like, that was the thing. It's like, the thing was not to bite, right? So everybody came with, A Tribe Called Quest, man. I love A Tribe Called Quest, bro, because they were so unique, and especially at a time when it was like, you know, gangster rap and stuff like that. They weren't afraid to be themselves and stuff like that. So just, you know, like I said, I always was a fan of music because my dad always had music playing in the house. And so like the Earth, Wind and Fires, the Stevie Wonders, the Michael Jackson, the Prince, I loved all of that. But that was our parents, you know, so that was our parents' music, right? So hip hop had a younger energy, I guess, and it just spoke to me even at, like, I was pretty young when I look back and think, like 8 or 9 years old, but I got it. It's like I understood it, you know what I mean? It just spoke to me, man. So yeah, all of those artists I named, the Ice Cubes, NWA, all of that is what just made me fall in love with it.
So for me, with what made me fall in love with real hip hop, right? So, I was a big Hammer fan as a little kid,
Okay.
I was doing a talent show in 4th grade, the MC Hammer and stuff. My sister can attest to it. She's sitting right here. But but I was a big Hammer fan. But what made me fall in love with like real hip hop?
Yeah.
Fire Rising. That was the first real hip hop album that I was exposed to. I was in Omaha. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska originally, and I was in Omaha for the student, and she was bumping that, and me, myself, and then that got me into Yo MTV Raps, and just hearing it and just hearing how different it sounded, and how those three guys made hip hop different, and it didn't sound like a gangster. It didn't sound like an NWA. It didn't sound like it didn't even sound like Public Enemy, which is the other end of the spectrum. But it was just fun, and it was almost like relatable hip hop. And I fell in love with that, and then from then on, I got a hold of Tribe a couple years later, and that felt even more, with the jazzy feel and the laid back and Fife, with more of like, the in your face type of lyrics,
in your face, that grittiness,
more the more subtle stuff, and it was just a perfect spin. And I was lost from there, man. So so much, and you talk about our parents' music, the Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Wonders, but that's not so far removed from this era of music that we're talking about, the 90s, golden era hip hop, because even our parents listen to some of that stuff that we listen to now. I know my dad had Tupac albums and all the stuff that I was listening to, he was buying as well. So it was a good blend, right? It's like that right sweet spot where you can go back and hear the samples being pulled, that you listen to. So I think that era, man, just that 70s, 80s, 90s era was just a perfect blend of musical creativity.
It was.
So very dope. Dope. So, you talked about your influences, your Rakims and Big Daddy Kane's and stuff like that. And we got to a point, in hip hop where it was a civil war, right? The East Coast, West Coast beef, and it kind of a lot of us to kind of pick sides, right? So my question to you is, during that time, what side did you fall on during the hip hop civil war?
I don't know that I necessarily picked the side. I think I was a little bit more, if I had to say, I was a little bit more like sympathetic to the West because they were like the underdog. They were like, and being from the South, I could relate with that. But at the end of the day, I thought that was like just really stupid, really. Because it was just a big distraction. It was like, I know hip hop by nature is competitive. You know what I mean? There's a certain competition element to it. I can do this better than you, but I think, when we start losing lives and people, we lost Pac, we lost Biggie. It was just like, man, this is like really stupid, man. It makes more sense for us to really come together and show this power that we have together collectively. So, I'm glad that finally fizzled out. But I guess if I had to say, I was understanding, like I think when Ice Cube and Mac 10, West Side Connection, when they made Bow Down. Like I can really relate with that because it would, all the other coasts we looked up to New York, right? Because that's where it started. But it was like for a long time we didn't feel that love reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? It was like, especially in the South, they like seemed like they like really looked down on us, like really thought we was just like, we ain't had no MCs here. It was just like we just some country bumpkins. And ever since Andre said that, the South got something to say, man, that was like, yes, finally, you know what I mean? And to say that in a room full of New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, but we can relate with that because we do, and we still do have something to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that was my take on the whole thing.
Okay, so for me, I was the opposite, right? So I grew up during that time, on the forefront of it. I grew up in Okinawa, Japan. My father was stationed there at the time, and so there was a big East Coast influence over there. So when all the woo was popping, the woo, everything. But even though that it was weird because it was an East Coast influence, but a lot of cats are dressing in khakis and so it was a nice blend. But my I rolled with and hung out with, it was a lot of East Coast, with the baggy jeans, the boots, and stuff like that. And but I think it was necessary. Unfortunately, I hate the fact that we lost.
Yeah.
You there?
I'm here. You had froze. Okay, you had froze. Yeah.
Sorry about that. So I was saying that I think it was necessary at the time because a lot of good music was the product of that hip hop civil war because it was competition, right? Everybody was pushing, and you wouldn't have your Nas's, you wouldn't have your Cummings, you wouldn't have your Dog Food album, you wouldn't have your All Eyes on Me if it wasn't for each other pushing each other with such creativity and a drive to be one. Hey, Jay-Z came out with Reasonable Doubt, and that's one of the better albums. And it was kind of a blip on the radar in the grand scheme of things that was coming out, But now you go back and look, it's a super dope album. But so I think that period, unfortunately, with the deaths and everything that came with it, pushed. Without that era, we wouldn't have hip hop as we know it today. So
that's a great point, actually, Kels, because I kind of feel that same way about this year in particular, like with the pandemic and so much, and the police brutality coming to like a head, you know what I mean, and everybody seeing it. Not saying that you would wish any of this stuff on anybody, right? But as a result of this year being as crazy as it's been, this has been a dope year for hip hop, bro. It's been a lot of dope music came out.
Yes, I agree.
This year, and especially the music that attacked those issues head on and stuff like that. A lot of people have been like really putting out some good product this year, bro. So I think hip hop has always had a way of like just speaking a truth and shining in the face of adversity. You know what I mean?
It is. And it's the music of the people. It's the people's voice. And believe hip hop. It's still relatively young. It's still a relatively young form of music, and it's still evolving, and it's still changing. And I don't think there's a box you can necessarily put it into because Dre showed you with the Love Below album. Hip hop can be a bunch of different things.
Yes.
And then nowadays with these young cats with the things they're doing, I may not necessarily like the message, but it's still another form, right? It's still another form of art. So and like you said, with the pandemic going on, people are getting more into their head and thinking outside the box of what the genre of music can actually be. What it can be going forward. So, with that being said, you kind of touched on my next question, right?
Okay.
How do you feel about the current state of hip hop? Where do you think we are, and where do you see it going from here?
This is always a good question. I see it just continuing to evolve, bro. I see it. I mean, it's the most powerful music, the number one genre of music. It has been for years. I believe even before the numbers were reflecting that, I believe it was. So, one thing I'm really enjoying, especially as a rapper in his 40s, is like a lot of the dope music is coming from, the vets, the elder statesmen, the Busta Rhymes, the Black Thoughts. These people been putting out. Public Enemy put out an album this year. So I believe that it's, like you say, it's relatively young. And what I like about it is I think we're starting to see that it's no expiration date for like I was saying, for some of these artists that are older. Look, we still got something to say. You may not hear their songs on the radio as much as because hip hop has always been kind of like a young boy sport, but at the same time, it's like I said, a lot of these older cats are still saying some, Goody Mob got a new dope album, that Survival Kit, so it's I just see it I see it being preserved. That was a big thing in my in me putting together this album that I put together. I was very conscious of just wanting to preserve it, wanting to highlight some of these cats that's been doing it a while and make sure that their names don't get forgotten, you know what I'm saying? Because especially like in the rock genre, those older legends are revered, and I wanted to make sure that we do the same for our pioneers and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I'm glad you made that point because it's true. Country music, they take care of their own, right?
Yeah.
They show love to the pioneers, those who came before them. Your George Straits, your George Joneses, they go to those folks. Garth Brooks, and then now, like you said, rock. The Stones, the Pink Floyds, the the Ramones, all those legendary acts, and some of those guys are still out rocking now, maybe in different configurations, but they're still out there rocking, and they'll still pack a crowd like nothing.
Exactly, man.
And their people look up to them, right? Their counterparts. Right. Where in hip hop, it's like we're so quick to push the vets and the OGs out of the way.
Right.
The young guys, and you said, it's viewed as a young person's game, and it shouldn't be a shelf life on hip hop,
right.
Looking at us, I know I'm 40, and and you're older than me, just by the time you were saying, and so let's fast forward 10 years from now, right?
Yeah,
and then we're still gonna be rocking out to the Busta Rhymes, the Maddox, and that's gonna be our classics, right? And we're gonna have and I think about that, and it's like it's crazy, but hey, these are going to be our rock gods, right? Like
right.
Yeah, it should be encouraged, and even somebody at an older age, just picking up the mic for the first time, do it. I don't think just do it.
Do
you may have to talk about, and that's why I like Jay-Z's last album because he's rhyming from a different age, right? Like he's not talking about being in the streets no more. He's talking about, what a family man, right? Stuff that a family MC is going through.
Right.
And it caught me off guard at first. I'm like, I really don't want to hear this because you kind of know the story. But when you sat next to listen to the record, it was a really, really dope introspective record. And I think it was
very good. Very good. Yes.
Yeah. So speaking about dope albums, right? Let's move on to your solo joint, right? Frisson.
Okay.
Out now and dropped last week.
Yes, sir.
In the conversation we had before we came on, it's being received really well. And I told you, I put it on and I took a long walk to it just to get a good listen to it.
Yeah.
And what I took away from it, right? So my review, sales review here, right? So it was fun.
Brace yourself. Let me put my seatbelt on for this.
No. It was a fun album, and it took me back to listening to like an Illmatic, right? An Illmatic. Like a good overall listening experience where you're getting something different and the tracks didn't sound the same. It was you were talking about something different on each track. And and I put it was fun, but not poppy. That's important. It wasn't poppy,
Right.
well put together, that showcased your lyrical talent. It also touched on a personal side of yours as well. The
Yes.
standout tracks, in my opinion, the album was good. The album was solid, but my standout tracks was Suspense Chamber, and I love how you put together the whole Wu thing, and
Yeah.
I think I played that like 3 times back to back. Anything else I missed. I love the Suspense Chamber. I love Must Love Hip Hop. That had me cracking up with the homie Jack. Shout out Jack, man, from The Real Clash.
What up, Jay?
Yeah, and I found that to be, something that I probably would have thought about as a teenager, right? Listening to like the Dope album, like, man, I wonder if she likes it. How does she feel about this? And you hit me when you were talking about the Sway in the Morning and the 5 Fingers of Death.
Yeah.
you said, the chick was like, "Oh, I didn't know Common was a rapper," and I'm like, I love that. And Staying Elsewhere, I really, really like Staying Elsewhere, and I think on that front, that was a personal touch about how this hip hop lifestyle has affected you, from a family standpoint. So, let's talk about the album. That was Kel's review, right?
Okay.
So let's talk about, first of all, the title. Where did the title of the album come from?
So, so whenever I'm in album making mode, right? I don't necessarily know the title going in, right? Okay. But what I try to, when I'm in album making mode and I'm being creative, I'm always trying to keep my antennas up, right? To look for a sign that may basically summarize what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to say at that moment. So at first, the album was going to be called, I think, Vintage or something like that, right? Because it felt like a lot of the music that I was getting,
you could have went that way too. Yep.
Submitted from my homeboy Troy Cedeno, it just had that vintage hip hop feel to it, right? But one thing about me is I don't like, not that's a basic title, but I like to have something that kind of stands out. One of my album titles was "Oh My Shot." You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like to have stuff that's gonna catch your attention right from the gate. So I just happen to be scrolling up on Facebook one day, and how they'll have ads and stuff like that, and for some reason the word Frisson popped up, and it was talking about the definition of it and stuff like that. And I was like, I had never heard that word before. And I'm just, as a writer, I'm fascinated by words, especially when I hear something at this stage of my life that I never heard before. So I'm like, I never heard this word before. And I looked it up, and it basically was saying frisson is the French word to describe skin tingling goosebumps, like as a reaction to music or something visual. And I was like, bingo, that's it. Because the music that I was getting submitted to me from Troy, and what I was putting together, if it's giving me goosebumps as I'm writing it, I know that's what I'm able to convey that to the listener and kind of transmit that and make the listener feel that. And I felt like that was the overall summary of where I was trying to go with the album. I was trying to make music that people could feel, that would give them an actual physical reaction to what they were listening to. Yeah. And plus it was, it was another opportunity to educate, because I'm from that era where it was cool to be smart. It was cool to learn something new, you know what I'm saying, through hip hop music. So I felt like just in the title, I could give people something that they may have never heard of, and then they can learn. Plus, it was also a little tongue in cheek, because my name itself gets mispronounced a lot, right? Yeah. People say Shadcore, Shadecore. So I'm like, well, if they go mispronounce my name, I might as well come up with a title that's hard to pronounce too. Because some people like, is it Frisson? Is it Frisson? What is it? I'm like, no, it's Frisson.
Yeah. See, and you educate people as well, right? So there it is. Yeah. So what I find, unique, and there's a lot of rappers out there that that don't curse in their lyrics, and you're one of them.
Right.
So
right.
What made you want your style and delivery to be like that?
Well, a couple things. Again, Rakim's my favorite rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people always marveled at how dope his lyrics were. And another thing they marveled at is that he was able to do that without cursing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started rapping, I, like I think I pretty much started rapping like around 9 or 10. But like when I started like actually like really writing and showing my parents my stuff, I might have was like 13 or 14. And one of the things my pops was like, he say, as long as you don't curse, uh, don't use the N-word, and don't disrespect women, I'm good. And so I always, that just stuck with me, right? And so I like to be able to stand out from the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody's doing something, then I don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one way for me to stand out, is to spit some of the dopest rhymes you heard without having to use any profanity. You know what I mean? And my dad used to always say a man curses because he can't find the words to express what he really wants to say. So I was like, well, I'm a writer. I love words. Let me find the words to express myself without having to use these 7 words that everybody else use all the time. You know what I mean? So that's and that's just been one of those constants that I've always tried to keep in all my, in all my music, just to do it without having to use those words.
Dope.
And I'm not knocking you if you do, I understand. But just for me personally, I like to be able to say I spit a dope, crazy 16 or 24 or whatever, it didn't have to cuss one time, you know what I mean? And it still kept your attention,
And that's hard to do. It's hard for a lot of MCs to do. So I mean, hey, for you to do it, and when I was doing my research prior, we had just met, and I was doing our research prior to our interview, and I was like, man, he doesn't curse. I was like, that's really dope. And that makes it where kids can listen to dope hip hop.
Right.
The parents go like, hey, turn that down, or no, that's really cool.
And that's a big part of it too. I left that out. That's a big part. I like to be able to go to sleep at night knowing that I put out something that ain't gonna contaminate somebody, or a little kid. The kid can spit it verbatim for their parents, and the parents don't have to be like, hey, you know what I mean? So that's definitely important.
Very cool. Hey, fellow Marauders, we got Rashad Harrell, aka Shadcore, on here. We're talking about his new album, Frisson. It's out now. We talked about his top 5. We talked about his influences, and where he fell on the Civil War, which he really didn't fall on the side, but was more sympathetic to the West. And he's talking about if you're just tuning in, he's talking about the album and where the idea and the title came from. So your favorite track on this album. Let's hear it. Which one is it?
You named it. It was your last one that you said you liked. Saint Elsewhere. I think that's my favorite one, bro. Especially as far as something that goes along with the title of the album, Free Song. And that was ironically, that was the very first song that Troy and I put together for the album. This was before, when I started with this album. And I don't know if this was gonna be a question that we got to later, but when I started with this album, I didn't know that I was making an album per se. I just knew that I wanted to connect with this producer that I had heard put together this another album for this dope artist by the name of Ari Kai, an R&B artist. And I heard his work with her and was blown away. And you wouldn't think that a hip hop artist would hear an R&B produced album and be like, I want that guy to produce my hip hop album. Yeah. But it's just something I can hear in the music that he put together for her that I felt this dude probably had some hip hop chops. And little did I know once we met that hip hop was his first love. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he had told me that he had always wanted to produce an all hip hop album, but hadn't really met any artists that he felt worthy enough to, rock over his beats for a whole album. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was destiny with me meeting this guy, Troy Cedeno, about 3 years ago. And like I said, we started with Saint Elsewhere, and I was like, that's dope. Let me see if I can get another beat from him. You know what I'm saying? And so I was hoping I can get like 2 or 3 beats from him, right? And once I saw his range, his diversity, his passion, his love for the craft, I was like, yo, I want you to produce my entire album. And that's one of those things that I'm starting to notice in hip hop is kind of getting back to that, which is kind of dope. Like a singular producer for the whole album. Nas did it with Hit Boy. Yep. Benny the Butcher did it with Hit Boy, the whole album. And that's kind of how it used to be back in the day. Like the RZA would produce the entire Wu-Tang members' albums and stuff like that, or Dr. Dre did the whole Snoop album, or whatever it is. It's something about working with one producer for your whole vision, and that can get it. And to me, that's also what makes this album special to me, that I was able to work with one producer that have such a crazy range. Like you were saying, how no 2 beats sound alike. That's kind of hard for producers to do, man. Is to create a whole body of work, and you're not able to tell that they did each track. You know what I'm saying? Like Suspense Chamber sounds nothing like Must Love Hip Hop. In fact, they're the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Suspense Chamber is very East Coast. Yes. Must Love Hip Hop is very West Coast.
Yes.
It's
so like a far side-ish type of sound.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes. And so that was important for me because I like I was telling you before, I love music, bro. So it's not just one. I don't want to just sound like one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So very dope. And so, and I asked you guys this when I sat in with when we did the Clash interview, right? So how has hip hop or you as a solo artist, how have you evolved, and has there been any changes in your life now that you're putting out solo albums and you're getting better? Clearly you're getting better from when you first started doing this from a solo standpoint. How have you evolved, and how have things changed for you?
I would say, like, I was listening to some of my old stuff a couple of days ago on Thanksgiving, actually, because I hooked up with my homeboy Steve, aka Black Speed, who did a lot of my earlier production. I'm talking about like back in 2000s, late 90s, and a lot of my stuff back then, it was like me feeling like I had to prove a point. I had to prove like I was the dopest MC from St. Pete, or the dopest MC from Tampa, the dopest MC from Florida, quite possibly the dopest MC you ever heard, right? So it was like, that was my focus. It's like just to kind of, that hunger to just kind of go in and smash whatever beat I hopped on. And don't get me wrong, that's still my intent, right? But it's not so much like, now it's just, I'm more focused on creating great songs. Yeah. So back then it wasn't so much about creating a great song as it was creating a dope verse. So now I'm more focused on, song structure, the melody, and then just overall content. I don't want to just be talking about how dope I am all the time. I want to talk about some world issues. I want to talk about being vulnerable. A lot of times, hip hop has a certain machismo, and so, but we can't be like that all the time. We got to show that we are real human people, that we have feelings, and that sometimes we have some shortcomings. And that's what Saint Elsewhere was about me just being honest and, kind of apologetic to my wife for so many times where I would just maybe block out whatever was going on to focus on my music. And it was like, man, it's like we get so wrapped up sometimes in our art or in our careers or whatever it is, that sometimes we end up neglecting the ones that mean the most to us. So you gotta, it's all about balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
So I would say I've matured, and I just try to make music that is gonna, really touch, help, heal people, entertain people, and make it timeless. That's
okay.
that's my big focus. Is just at this point making timeless music.
Good. Good.
Hmm.
So do you think the Shadcore that we're looking at today, is this you in your final form, coining a Dragon Ball Z phrase? Is this you in your final form, or you still got some more leg room on you?
I like to think I have more leg room, but I'm glad you asked this question, because I was talking with Troy about this, and I was like, this might be my final album, but not the last I'll make music. So
Okay.
meaning that, because, and that may change, but the reason I say that is because we're just like, the way music is consumed now, it's, and me and you were talking about this off air. It's like the album listening experience isn't what it used to be, right? Because everybody's so busy, and everybody's,
They
you
just want
know,
everything.
they
It's
want
fast.
and it's so much music. It's like kind of oversaturated, bro. So sometimes good, dope, solid albums get overlooked because maybe it didn't get the push or the promotion that it needed, and then the next week something else is dropping, and you focusing on that. Then the week after that, something else is dropping. So I was like, maybe I just need to accept that, and start doing, just releasing singles and pushing those singles. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
As opposed to putting together a body of work. But I say that, but I don't know. It's like, it's that, it's that old school in me that just enjoyed listening to a person's complete body of work, man.
Yeah.
And so it's a balance of, me putting music out for the people, and then me putting music out for myself that I can just like vibe out to. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of my biggest fans, if not my biggest fan. So I have no shame to say I roll around in the car listening to, Shadcore. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, dope
Because
hip hop is dope hip hop, regardless of who it's coming
exactly,
from. Yeah.
exactly, bro. So but nah, I still feel like I got more. Suspense Chamber was a great example of me showing that I can still do it at a high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Now, were you
the fun.
surprised? Now you say it's still doing at a high level. Were you surprised at the outcome of that?
I wasn't. I figured other people who heard it would be. I knew I had that in me. But I figured people who may have never heard me before might be like, maybe blown away. I knew I could do it, but I'm gonna tell you, it was a fun little, like, it was like a fun challenge, because my boy Troy had submitted that beat. He sent me that beat, and he kind of issued like a little challenge. He was like, "What can you do with this?" You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't deny um, the Wu-Tang influence of the track when I heard it. You know what I mean? So I was like, what am I gonna talk about? And I'm like, man, this is so wooish that I might as well just, pay tribute to the Wu, but I'm gonna do it a different way. I'm gonna tell you how dope I am using nothing but Wu-Tang references. You know what I mean?
Have you thought about trying to get it to RZA?
Yeah, absolutely. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie. I ain't no shame. Me and Troy both have DM'd him. Hey man, if anybody got any contact, any way to know how to get in touch with him, please let me know. Send him my way. Send the track to him if you can. Yes, I definitely want the RZA to hear it, man.
Okay. All right. So there it is.
Yes.
Challenge to fellow marauders. Anybody got connect to RZA or anybody who affiliated? Help the brother out.
Help a brother out, bro.
All right. That's what we do with the marauders. We try to connect. So there it is.
Yeah. Yes.
So, all right. So my final question to you. All right. So what does success look like to Shadcore?
Oh man. If it makes you happy, man, if you're content, It's not always about the numbers. It's about these experiences, bro. Like you felt it worthy enough to have me on your show. I mean, that's a win. You know what I mean? Um, Anybody that listens to the album and that has something good to say about it, man, that's success. It's basically what you're content with. If it, if you feel content, if you feel satisfied, um, everybody's not gonna have $1 million. Everybody's not gonna have a Rolls Royce, but you have people that has that stuff that aren't happy, and then you have people that has much less than that are super happy. You know what I mean? And super content. And so it's about just I think being in touch with yourself, with your feelings, and just knowing what makes you happy, what you know knowing what your purpose is in life, and going after that. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right. So before we wrap up, I didn't tell you this when I threw the notes out there. You can tell me to kick rocks. You can tell me to kick rocks. Can you spit a little something for the fellow Marauders out there? Just whatever you got on you, anything.
Sure. You got a beat? You want me to? You got a beat you can throw on?
I don't.
You don't?
I'm not prepared. I should be better prepared. If you got something, this cool. Whatever you got.
Let me see. Let's see. Can you hear this? Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I just give it to you old school, man. A little freestyle. Let's see. Just me beating on the window. You know what I'm saying? Yo. You know what it is. SARS on the mic. Got you all up in my biz. Yo, my freestyle with a marker. Do it one time because I'm a culture marauder.
Hey.
Yo, do it from 10 to 12. It's Shadcore. Rocking with your boy Kels. Hey, and I'm beating on the window. When you hear my album, you'll go crazy off that intro. Introduction, where I rhyme like Kobe. I do it like this. I kick it like Shinobi. Freestyle, baby. Do it fast or slowly. It really don't matter. I'm gonna keep it holy. Why? Because it's the day before Sunday. SARS on the mic from the east to west like Kanye. I'ma drop it. 3 stacks like Andre. Do it like that. Yo, one time for my fiance. Nope, not my fiance. It's my wife for 22 years. SARS on the mic like Q-tip. I'm all in your ears. Know what I'm saying? That's just how we do it. Shadcore freestyle it, and I do it without music. Ooh.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to tell me I ain't doing it, but no,
nah, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna never turn down a chance to spit something, bro.
My fault for not being prepared. I just thought of it like it wasn't even on the agenda. But hey, man, I appreciate it. If you were tuning in, you just got a treat from MC Shadcore, front end for the Real Clash, and all around dope MC, and good guy, man. So
appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you stopping through. So where can we find you out in the world?
Oh man, on IG is Shadcore Official. Shadcore is SHADCORE, and you're hearing it here first. It's Shadcore. I'm glad you pronounced it right, my brother. So many times, I had Chuck D play my song one time on his radio show, and that was awesome. But then he said Shadcore. I'm like, oh no, it's Shadcore, Chuck. So Instagram Shadcore Official. Hit me at my website, shadcore.com. And what's cool about the website is I got like some of my early albums that I haven't even put out on like Spotify and iTunes. So you can hear like some of my early catalog, like at least 2 or 3 of my albums that aren't available there, that's available on my website. So definitely check me out there, shadcore.com.
Okay, got you.
And also check the band out. Gotta give love to the band. This is trc.com, The Real Clash. So check us out. And you'll definitely be hearing some more from me.
Okay. And you got some other endeavors that you dabble in too, right? What else you got happening out there?
Oh yeah, I got this thing called Let Rashad Rap. It's basically like a custom songwriting service, I guess you could say. So like if you have like a loved one that you want to commemorate, maybe they're graduating high school, or maybe you're celebrating a birthday or anniversary, you want to give them a unique treat that they wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. Get with me, give me some notes, and I will take all of that information for small fee and put together a dope song that will last them a lifetime, a song just for them. So yeah, it's called Let Rashad Rap. So if you are interested, you can shoot me an email at shadcore92@gmail.com, and we'll go from there.
All right, there it is. Okay, so the man of many talents, freestyling, and he's got the Let Rashad Rap business happening also. So hey, you heard it from him. If you got something going on, you wanna throw something out there, really blow some people's minds, hit him up. So
hit me up.
Get out of here. We got some shout outs. I got one more question for you. Who you got tonight, Tyson or Jones Jr.?
I am Mike, baby.
All day.
I am Mike all day.
You think you're gonna knock him out?
Ooh, yeah, I do. I do, bro. I do.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I hope they stay safe, bro. It's like, yeah, bro. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate what Tyson is doing with the Legends Only League, because I heard De La Hoya is trying to get back in shape too.
Wow.
Wow. And I think this might be an avenue for those fighters that we loved, like I said, growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
2000 fighters, for them to kind of come back. And hopefully, everybody's safe and nobody gets hurt.
Right.
It's good to see Mike, man. He looks good. He's back down to weight. And it's going to be fun. So I got Tyson too.
Yes, sir.
All right. So final thoughts and shout outs, man. I'll let you go first. Who do you want to shout out?
I want to shout you out, bro. I want to shout you out in the show, in this platform. Culture Marauders, I'm honored to be a guest. I see you. I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I want to just encourage your viewers to continue watching, continue supporting. So, man, definitely. Kels, and of course, my lovely wife, Tanya, and my beautiful children, Jair, Tasani, and Kaylee. I love y'all. And my mom. I love you, Mom. I want you to get better. Mom's in the hospital right now, but I definitely want to see her come up out of there. She's real strong, and I know she'll be okay. Love you, Mama. So
best wishes to your mom, man. I hope she recovers. So, good. All right. Well, so my shout outs, mine, hey, get your stickers because it's gonna be a long one. So I want to shout out, to my family, my daughter Liliana, my son Kyrese, my other son Jackson, my sister Joy, who's sitting here. She's hanging out with us. My wife Rena, the other side of the Culture Marauders crew, all the listeners out there, all the supporters, yourself, man, for taking a chance and appearing on the show. Incredible talent, man. I wish you the best going forward, and we will connect again. The real clash. Everybody out here in the city of Tampa, has been embracing me and my opportunities. Everybody worldwide following. My military homies out there who's still out there putting in work, the ones that are deployed, the ones with their families, and I've been on that side of the line, man, and it sucks. But hey, as long as we keep pushing stuff out there, man, for y'all to get a little bit of break away from the everyday grind, we're gonna keep doing it. And shout out to the essential workers out there. The folks, the bills are getting there again, man. We need y'all more than ever. The medical workers out there, the public health folks, the doctors, the nurses, people, you see these folks at their job and, man, they come back, they got the masks on their face because they're putting in insane hours. Thank you.
Absolutely.
They're doing, the garbage pickup, the unsung heroes. I say it all the time. Thank you for keeping life going as we know it, and trying to keep us, everything eye level, so we just don't get, bombarded and just beat over the head with all this nonsense and craziness in the world. So thank you. So those are my shout outs. I just want to say, hey, rest in peace to Diego Maradona, aka the Golden Kid, Argentinian legend from soccer. World Cup legend in Argentina. He passed away. I still don't know. They didn't reveal what it was from, but he's a soccer legend, a football legend up there with Pele, arguably one of the top 3 greatest of all time to ever do it. So shout out to Diego Maradona. So with that being said, hey, look, we got anything you want to maraud on, there's a number of ways to hit us up. We got, the Instagram at _culture_marauders. Hit us up on Facebook at the Culture Marauders. And then also, you got the Gmail, keep in contact, keep in touch. Anything you want to hear, anything, you got any ideas? Like, hey, Kels, Rena, we want to hear about this. Can you dig this up? Or, hey, I got this guy or lady who I think would be really dope to do an episode with. Hit us up at the Culture Marauders at gmail.com. So with that being said, hey, this is a sneak preview episode, a little drop in. We're about to drop season 2 here on you real soon. Stay tuned. And hey, Shadcore, thank you, brother, for coming through, man. Again, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the freestyle, and we'll work this soon. So with that being said, be safe, brother. And as always, I'd like to leave you with one culture, one blood, one love. We out. Peace.
Peace.